welcome back to my channel. My name is Kelsey and today I'm reading some queer YA. So I have a lot of queer YA on my TBR that I just don't prioritize, and I felt like I was really in this reading slump this month and I needed just some uplifting books, so I decided to pick up 2 queer YA novels to read for this vlog. The first of which is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. This follows a young girl named Jam who grew up in a town called Lucille. In this town, they have gotten rid of all the monsters. All is right and well within the town. However, one day, through accidental means, Jam finds her mother's painting come to life in the form of a creature named Pet, and her entire world is shaken up. And the second book I read for this vlog was Gear Breakers by Zoe Hana Mikuta, and this takes place in a dystopian sci-fi world called Godolia. And in Godolia, the tyrannical rule is put forth through the means of these mecha beings called wind-ups. And then obviously individuals from the rebellious side who are against the government want to take down these wind-ups, and they're called Gear Breakers for obvious reasons. So these are the 2 books that I finished for this vlog, and let's go back to Kelsey 1 week ago and see what I thought about them. Hello! So as I mentioned every time, hopefully I did a better intro to this, but I'm starting off my reading queer YA vlog just because I have a lot of queer YA on my TBR and I want to get through it. June is the perfect month to do so. You should be reading diverse reads all year round. The first book I think I'm going to start off with is one that I've heard really good things about, and it's a lot shorter. I'm currently in, like, if you've been watching my videos, a life slump, reading slump. Also, I'm fucking congested from the terrible pollen summer we've been having. The heat, the humidity, the pollen, it's not my best friend this year. I feel like I'm dying. I cannot breathe. But the book I'm going to start off with is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. I heard about this book from Jessie over at Bowties and Books, and now I think their channel name is Jessie on YouTube, because this was, I believe, still probably one of their favorite books, at least. And ever since they had spoken about it, I obviously wanted to pick it up. I wanted to read it. I wanted to engage with it just because it sounds like such an interesting novel. It's about a creature that escapes from this girl's art canvas, I believe. And this creature's ability is to sniff out different monsters that the world believes aren't there anymore, but these monsters are like in hiding. So Jam is the main character in this book, and they're the one that meet Pet, the creature. This is the young adult debut from Akwaeke Emezi. I've read that people cry while reading it. I've read that it's an emotional read. So I'm very, very, very keen to pick this up. It will be my first Akwaeke Emezi, so also another checkbox that I would like to tackle because I really want to read them as an author. So if I do enjoy this one, I know that I have a breadth of options in their backlist to choose from. So this will be the first book I'm going to read. I will try to update you perhaps on the 50-page mark or 100-page mark, just because this is a shorter book. I know that I could probably finish this pretty quickly. I would like to be able to talk about my thoughts as I have them. So I just got to the 50% mark, or page 100 in Pet by Akwaeke Emezi. As you can hear, my sinuses did not let up for the entire day, so I'm still really struggling over here. It's probably worse than this morning, but whatever. So far, I'm really, really, really enjoying this. The writing is very simple, and yet it conveys so much within it. We get a real understanding of who Jam is, of her relationship to her parents, of her identity. She is someone who is more reserved. She is a selective mute. So a lot of interesting representation is going on in this book, as well as a really captivating story. So the main idea is that Pet comes out of a painting that Jam's mother has drawn, and we come to, oh my gosh, my nails are the same color. Anyways, we come to understand that Jam's mom has done this before. She has painted something, and that something has come to life. In the past, they were able to get rid of it. I know that the second book that follows this book is about... My phone ran out of space in the middle of when I was talking, but basically Pet comes out of this painting that Jam's mom drew. It mentions that it is here to hunt down a monster. We understand from the history of this book that monsters were eradicated from this world by the angels, the good people, and so there's no more monsters, there's no more problems. They don't have to worry about anything. However, Pet says there is a monster, something's going on at your friend Redemption's house, and I'm here to hunt it, take it down. I have a feeling I know what is going on. I looked at some trigger warnings as well, which sort of confirmed what I believe is happening at Jam's friend's house. So far, Jam doesn't see it, but obviously she grew up with this family, so she doesn't necessarily see things. And Pet is here to explain to her that just because you don't see something doesn't mean that a monster isn't present. And I believe that that's a really interesting take on like what a monster is for young adults. So I'm very interested to continue because, like I said, I'm really enjoying this. I really like the writing and I really like the story so far. It is 10 o'clock. Depending on how I feel with my sinuses, I may or may not continue. Probably let you know tomorrow. Hello, so I haven't updated in a couple of days. It's just been a scorcher here in Montreal, like 40 plus degrees, which that's not normal, okay? I'm sorry to like the Texas, California people. This is not normal weather, okay? Especially when you live on what is essentially an island. So you're just surrounded by humidity. This is not a pleasant experience for any of us. Yesterday, when I came home from work and I was outside and in the metro system in this heat, I was obviously exhausted by the time I came home. So I didn't read anything. No, sorry, that was Tuesday. What am I talking about? Oh my gosh. And then Wednesday, I didn't update you. Or did you update you yesterday? Anyways, I'm almost done the book, basically. I have roughly 50 pages left, and I'm really loving this. Like, really loving this. I don't see it not being at least a 4.5. I'm just enjoying it. The story has taken a turn exactly how I expected it to. Not necessarily in the way I thought it was, but we haven't had this final conclusion, so we'll see. The writing is very straightforward, and it makes this feel less YA and more like of a middle grade vibes. Whatever, that's not something I'm gonna nitpick. I enjoy Jam as a character. I enjoy Jam's friend redemption. I like Pet, the physical embodiment of hunting these monsters. So in the last final pages, we're just going to go over and like kind of close the plot. We're going to find out what's happening, how they're going to tackle it, and then what happens with Pet at the end. And I'm very interested to see. I've enjoyed this experience overall. It's been very good. And then I also have to edit a video today. I'm going to see when I have time to do that. My laptop has been not performing well, so I'm like this close to like buying another one, which is so annoying and not something I really want to purchase right now, but we'll see. I ended up finishing Pet by Kweki Amezi like I expected, and I absolutely adored it. If you hear Italian in the background, it's because I'm watching the Italian channel because Italy is playing Spain in the FIFA Euro Cup. My favorite time of the season. I love soccer. My family's Italian, so hoping Italy wins.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
But let's talk about Pet that I just came to finish, that my nails match. And honestly, I don't think I can give this anything but an absolutely perfect review. I see the faults. I understand that the writing style is more direct, more simplistic, that I usually praise and that I usually like. But honestly, quite frankly, I just don't care. It exceeded my expectations and it made me really excited to read from Amezi, knowing that they have such a large backlist and knowing that I just really adore their stories. I know that I have so much, like a breadth of books that I'm able to pick up. It was a very difficult read that handles a really difficult subject, but if you can handle it, I would highly recommend this one because I really enjoyed it. I tabbed it up. It just talked about so many good things. So first book of the vlog and such a success. Let's hope that the next ones are as well. The next book I'll be reading is one that I'm very nervous to read. It's one of those books that I've been wanting to read for years. It's exactly right up my alley, so I push it off because I don't want to read it just in case it's bad. This is Gearbreakers by Zoe Hana Mikuta. This has just everything I love. First of all, sapphics. Second of all, mechas. I don't need to hear more. I don't need to hear more. I love mechas. If you're not new to my channel, you probably know this. Every mecha book I read, every mecha popular thing I consume, I adore. So I'm having a lot of high hopes for this one, and I'm really trying not to set the bar too high, but it's already high. Like if this is not a 5 stars, I'm gonna cry. Hello. So I just got to page 102 in Gearbreakers. I feel like this is a really good place to stop because we've really dived into the two like playing factors for the book and the overall story or plot that we're going to be following. So basically, our first main character is Sona. So Sona is one of our mecha drivers. What we know about Sona is that she was an orphan trained to be able to handle and work one of these mechas. When they step into the mechas, they become one. Whatever the mecha feels, they feel. Very reminiscent, very easy to understand because it's very similar to Neon Genesis Evangelion. Once the children are inside of the mechas, they feel the pain. So that was very easy for me to comprehend. I'm like, this is mecha knowledge I know. And she is a part of like a sort of elite group called the Valkyrie, and they are sent to probably some of the more tougher missions just because the Valkyries seem to be the mechas that are the quickest, the fastest, the strongest. So that's Sona. And then our second main character is Ellis, and Ellis is part of a rebellious group called the Gearbreakers. And what they are able to do is that they have found some old technology that is good enough if used properly to take down the mechas. So she is part of this elite group. However, within the first 100 pages, we see that Ellis gets caught. Ellis or Eris? Maybe I'm Eris. Sorry. Eris gets caught and she's captured by one of Sona's Valkyrie teammates, and they sort of want to use Eris in order to take down the Gearbreakers, find a group of rogue Gearbreakers that Eris is a part of, just because Eris is pretty famous in the like mecha army because she is threatening. What we do understand as well within the first 100 chapters is that Sona, because she was brought to Gadolia as an orphan, she was sort of maltreated in order to become one of these soldiers. So she was sort of brought to the city just to be used. And I have an inkling, and I don't think it's that far-fetched to think this, that Sona is really becoming a Valkyrie or wanting to control the mecha for nefarious against Gadolian government reasons. She is therefore going to team up with Eris, and they will probably be taking down the government from the inside. So far I'm really enjoying it. Very simplistic overall plot, very simplistic world building. I'm enjoying it. I'm along for the ride. I really hope this ends up being a 5 stars just because I love mecha stuff. We'll see how it goes. Hello, so I don't know what's going on in my life. I am severely in a slump of some sort, and I need to read 3 books this week. I need to finish this vlog. I also need to read the overstory for my Professor Kelsey's book club because we had to push it just for other life slump things. Not me this time. It was my fault. I'm just not feeling that book. Don't tell anyone. I'm just not feeling it. But I have to focus on Gearbreakers and the overstory today. So I'm going to just relax. I have, as you can see, allergies again. Just the joy of this summer in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. So I think I'm going to focus on the overstory right now and then move into Gearbreakers for this vlog and give you an update. But I just wanted to say hello for the day. Hello, so while on my walk, I got to page 190, so I'm almost at the 200 page mark, so I feel like this is just a good spot to really fill you in on the plot. By this point, we have Sona, who managed to talk to Eris, convince Eris that she could help Eris escape, and that the only thing that Sona is really asking for is that Eris helps her like take down the regime. Sona, as we know from the beginning, has a rebellious side. She does not like the government, does not want to work for the government, and has this sneaky suspicion that she was sort of taken and brainwashed because she comes from the Badlands. Badlands are where the Gearbreakers reside, because they are of the poorer nation of the big bad government. Eris is a part of that. They sort of work together to escape where the mechas and armies are. From what I understand, they were keeping Eris a prisoner. Sona has helped her escape, and now they have been caught by Eris's old team of Gearbreakers. Something I did want to talk about, just because we will probably potentially be getting into more bigger spoilers later, is just how quickly Eris and Sona seem to trust each other. Like, it just felt very quick. We know that Sona has an interest in Eris, sapphic or not. She is interested by Eris being a threat to the Gadolian government, and wanted to use her in order to make her own escape, right? Eris trusted Sona sort of, not really willingly, but did eventually, and I just felt like it went so fast. We're really only at 50% of the book, and I feel like they already trusted each other. They've already escaped. The pacing just feels like it's moving very quickly. I'm interested to see how the rest of the book will fare, because if there's more of a plot, sort of, I feel like this pacing issue could be something that I could forgive depending on how I feel about the book towards the end of the novel. But as for right now, it was something that I was listening to it and I just felt it a bit odd for how quick it went, simply because I just feel like I wouldn't trust either way so quickly. Sona, Eris are with other Gearbreakers. The Gearbreakers sort of believe Sona, sort of believe Eris. We'll see if these trust issues that I'm bringing up come to light, but it is an element of the plot and the pacing that I find unbelievable. But I'm excited to continue because I am really liking this, and given that the pacing is fast, I am enjoying what is happening, all the action. So we'll see. So I have about 100 pages left in Gearbreakers. I'm going to try to finish it tonight before I go to bed because I have about 1 hour left at my reading speed on the audiobook. It's only 11. I'm on vacation this week, so I can definitely focus on this tonight. So I think I will. As per the plot, I'm not going to get into it just because I don't want to get into spoilers, but we do have Sona very much a part of Eris's crew. However, a lot of people in Eris's crew do not trust her. Obviously, I wouldn't either, quite frankly. To be honest, I don't even know if I trust her fully in the book. I trust her because I know Sona's intentions from the beginning of the book. I don't feel like she'll fuck them over, but do I think she'll fuck them over accidentally and it'll be a trope of miscommunication between Eris and Sona? Yes, that's exactly what I think is going to happen. As per what I think I'm going to rate this book, I'm at a crossroads here because I really thought I was going to give this book 5 stars. I've put it off for years because of that, because I thought I was really going to love it. So I think it was too hyped in my head for me to enjoy it for what it is, which is just a fast-paced, fun, sapphic science fiction with robots. I think it will probably get a 3.5 stars from me, unless the ending's really wild. Maybe I'll bump it up to a 4, but I'm already predicting that this will probably be a 3 to 3.5 stars, which is not a bad rating at all. But I do have a feeling that my hype for it or my want to love it is adding a little disappointment on my end. So I'll try to finish this tonight. I'll probably update you tomorrow. Welcome to the end of the vlog. I decided just to finish with these 2 books even though I had a 3rd book on the roster. I just feel like there's no point in me trying to rush through that 3rd book just because I'm in a reading slump, and I should just be happy with what I've read for the vlog. But I never gave you my final thoughts for Gearbreakers. I ended up finishing this last night, and unfortunately I think the hype I had for this book got to the best of me. As I had mentioned throughout the vlog, I have had this on my TBR for so long, and then putting it off because I just felt like I was going to devour it, I was going to love it, and I was scared to read it. I still really enjoyed it, but not as much as I was hoping to. Our 2 main characters are part of the reason that I did enjoy the book. I find both Sona and Eris had really interesting motivations and backstories that pushed their narrative forward, and that made for a really engaging plot, especially when the 2 of them were together. Both of them had pretty similar personalities, and I see that as one of the criticisms of the novel, but for me, I really like spunky and angry female main characters, so it didn't bother me at all. I also found the world building in here to be really interesting. It was not the most developed, but I feel like it followed the usual dystopian, sci-fi, futuristic society that wasn't really difficult to comprehend. For me, I think what was the weakest part of this novel was probably the writing and the writing style. It was written in a present tense, which made the overall vibe in the beginning of listening and reading it to feel really awkward, and I couldn't pinpoint really why until I noticed the tense, the POV tense that it was in. Additionally, I do think that the plot could have been developed a lot more. Without going into spoilers, I think I mentioned this earlier in the vlog as well, but our 2 characters meet and escape together in a fairly quick fashion for the situation that they're in, so it just made the pacing feel really quick and not to what I personally like to enjoy in regards to pacing in novels. So overall, I think this was a pretty solid debut, and obviously there is the 2nd book in the series that I could pick up whenever, but I think overall, if you like sci-fi and you like mechas, I think this is one that you will enjoy. I just think it was too hyped for me. And that's it. These are the 2 books I read for this vlog. Let's just go over my ratings. So Pet, obviously a huge success for this vlog. I gave it 5 stars. Definitely became one of my favorites, and I definitely will be picking up more from this author. And then Gearbreakers, a bit of a disappointment just because it was so hyped for me, but I still gave this a 3.5 stars. Please let me know down below what you thought about these books. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Let me know. And if you would like to follow me on any of my other social medias, I do leave a link down below to my Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram if you would like to follow me there. And of course, because it is the end of the video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. I tell you every time, but it does one for my channel. It makes me feel really good. And that's it. I never know how to end these things, so I will see you next time. Okay, bye!